What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here for the big match preview. It is Tottenham against West Ham, and who else to get in the studio? Nicky Hawkins from West Ham Fan TV. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, thank you. Yeah, very well.
Yeah, big game this weekend for both clubs, going into it.
Yeah, do you know what? I was looking at this the other day, and we've had a really bad start. Change of manager and all of that sort of stuff. But if we beat you, we go above you. I couldn't believe it because I'll be honest. I watched the Man United game last week. I was so impressed. I was thinking, yeah, it's all coming together now. And then I'm looking at your point. And then who'd you lose to? Brighton, wasn't it?
Brighton, 2-0 up,
3-2 down.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it, I was thinking, mate, we could actually go above these. If we do that, that's going to be travesty for you guys. And
you bet.
And it's bad for us.
It is, and
bad, yeah.
Especially if you look at our London derby record under Ange Postecoglou. I think we've drawn 2, haven't won a game against Arsenal, Chelsea or West Ham since he's come. But I'm looking at West Ham. Lopetegui's just come in, 7 games in. Everyone was looking from the outside, looking in the summer that West Ham had. Everyone thought West Ham were really going to kick on this season. What's going on? Is it just a bit of teething problems? What's happening at West Ham?
To be honest, again, we was talking about this before. The Moyes thing. I wasn't feeling Moyes anymore, and I think, I'm sure we'll speak about Ange in a second. But when you get to a manager's point of it's not working anymore, there's no point in carrying on. So I was like, yeah, get him out. When I see the signings coming, it looks fantastic on paper, fantastic. But I did say at the beginning of the season, you can go back and check my content if you don't believe me. It's going to be teething problems. It's a big uphaul. You've changed the whole defence. You've changed the whole attack. Midfield. You're still struggling to find that focal point of an attack. It's going to be a big upheaval this season. So don't expect sort of miracles from the first start. I said you've got Kilman in, you've got Todibo in, Wan-Bissaka, Alvarez, now playing alongside Rodriguez, and you get all the. It's a big overhaul. These things are not easy. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get lucky and they just, you come flying out of the traps. But I did say, do not expect it to come straight away. I think we'll struggle for the first, but I think we'll finish strong. And I think, listen, it's never easy when you start at home to Chelsea. Chelsea have come out of the traps flying. I don't know where that's come from, to be honest with you. When you've got a player like Cole Palmer, it's difficult. Then you've got Man City there. Aston Villa are on fire. We on the day we probably should have drew the game, but we lost the game. It's the first game. But then we've been away and not lost. So, you know what I mean? You balance all that out, and then you beat sort of Ipswich, and I think to myself, now you can start to see it. But there is still problems there. Don't get me wrong, there is still problems there. But if we can get it right, I think the balance is there. And I think, listen, there is questions about Lopetegui.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because, the lot of the kind of narratives around Moyes was, obviously very pragmatic. You've got such great attacking players. He doesn't get the best out of them, and you play this style of football which could be more geared to getting the best out of these attacking players. Now you've brought in Lopetegui, who's, to be fair, obviously is a great manager. Has won things at Sevilla, and he's taken top jobs. But he's not exactly a manager known for playing attacking football as much as he's a great manager. So, is there a bit of a concern that, from what you've seen so far, that it's not quite the football that you wanted, the change in the footballing style that you wanted?
Some of the football has been really good, believe it or not. You know what I mean? But some of it has been a bit tepid. Yeah, I can't lie and turn around and go, well, it's been fantastic, but we've just been unlucky. We're conceding way too many chances, and watching a Moyes ball for the last couple of years, you don't. Well, not last year, but the few. You don't really want to concede a lot of chances. We're not used to conceding a lot of chances like that. I think it's getting the balance right. We play a lot higher now, and we press a lot higher, and you'll see that in the fullbacks on Saturday. They're going to be high, unless he completely overhauls it and mugs me off this week. But no, you'll see it. The fullbacks are high. Wan-Bissaka and Emerson are always high, and he plays like that, and he likes to revert to a free and get the. It's just trying to get this. When you've been playing Moyes ball like some of these players have been playing for fucking so long, it's hard to get out of them habits, And I think that's what we're seeing at the moment. We're seeing like an infusion of both styles, and it's trying to get that into the fluid. But some of the football has been good, and I am quite looking forward to seeing when he gets, that whole thing sort of flowing his way, because we've got some brilliant attacking players. We've got some of the. There's not many people that would turn down Lucas Paqueta. There's not many people that turn down Kudus. There's not many people that turn down Bowen.
True.
And You know, if you get Fulkrug in that, you know,
Even
he's a
Somerville,
decent
you signed
striker.
him to
Somerville,
he was
yeah.
well sought after.
Forgot about him, to be
There's
honest.
not many teams would turn down like a Todibo as well.
No,
right?
yeah. So we've got some fantastic players. Once they get going, I think Tadebo's the key because I really don't like Mavropanos. You know, I like him, but as the style of football, the way he gets caught high up the pitch and he ain't got the pace to get back. You know, I was thinking like defensively, once he gets that solid, then we're going to start to see the best of the attacking because I think what it is, we're getting a lot of our midfielders are dropping back. Base, yeah, we need that strong base. Tadebo the other day was excellent. This is going to be the test for Tadibo.
I thought it was madness. Like you were just kept persisting with Mavropanos for the first 6 games. What was it? It was his first start against Ipswich.
Do you know what though? He came when I first saw him warming up. He was as fat as me. I couldn't believe it. You know, I couldn't believe it.
It was a fitness thing.
It's a fitness. It was definitely a fitness thing. Yeah, he had an actual belly. You know what I mean? I was thinking he's not going to be seen for the for a good few months before he gets that off. But he's a big guy. You know what I mean? He's one of them guys that he's naturally solid, so he's going to put on weight if he don't. You know, he had that thing he was up in the air with Juventus and all that sort of thing. So I don't think he was training much. And when he come to us and I see him on the training, I was thinking, fucking hell, like, he's actually got a belly, like. So yeah, I wasn't surprised, but sometimes it's best to bed him in. Premier League's hard. You know, it's hard to sort of hit the ground, especially if you're unfit. He's going to get exposed and he's going to look like a bad player. Then you lose confidence. So I'm quite glad that he's sort of like bedded him in slowly. Yeah. So.
There was a bit of talk before. Obviously, you beat Ipswich 4-1 last game, but there was I don't know, maybe it was just media tabloid reports, but there was a bit of reports that Lopetegui was a bit under pressure before that game. You know, you drew I think the week before to like Brentford. You hadn't won in a few games, hadn't looked great. In your opinion, was that just like completely ridiculous talk?
It's tabloid talk.
Yeah.
Our owners are not going to be sacking people for the sake of sacking people. They're not like that. You know, they're the tightest fuckers that you'll ever meet, as a matter of fact. So they don't just sack people because, you know, there's no way they're going to give a guy £160 million in the summer and sack him after 5 games. No way on earth. I think the pressure is on Tim Stuyden, who is actually our director of football, because he's the one that's identified these. You know, excellent director of football. Goes out, you know, personally gets these people. And you know, anyone would be lucky to have him. But I think that, you know, Sullivan being Sullivan, has turned around and goes, he's under pressure because he's the one that's gone out and got all these players, identified these players, worked with the manager. He's gone and got them. It's cost us a lot of money. If that don't work, it's on him.
Sometimes with like directors of football and the scouting staff, you know, you don't see the fruits of their labour until like
no, of course,
you know, much longer down the road.
Look at the players he's brought in: Kudus, Lucas Paquetá, Kilman. I think he's an excellent player. Tadibo, who was, you know, a lot of people around Europe wanted him. Wan-Bissaka, I'm a bit this on Wan-Bissaka, but at the end of the day, he's still a Man United player that could have gone to a lot of teams in the Premier League. Rodriguez, who was quite highly lauded. You know, he's gone out and got these personally. You know, gone and got these deals done, and people are believing in his vision. He's just got to make sure that vision comes off. Otherwise, Sullivan will cut him like that.
It was madness to me because like Sim messages me one day and he goes, yeah, Tadibo's going to West Ham. Tadibo heavily linked with West Ham. I was like, nah, Tadibo's never going to go to West Ham.
No,
you know?
but
Juventus are linked and this one's linked, and then he ends up at where I couldn't believe it.
But that is him, and it was the same with Paquetá. Paquetá could have went anywhere. He was going Newcastle, he was going Arsenal. He ends up at West Ham.
What's going on with Paquetá? I heard these rumours about the Premier League want to ban him for life and all this kind of stuff.
I think it's
just rumours?
Hot air. But I have heard they are looking for a lifetime ban. So the last I heard of him, it was something to do with a mobile phone. So when the investigation started, he handed him the mobile phone and had it for 2 months, right? Premier League football ain't going to be sat there without a mobile phone for 2 months. So he's gone and bought himself a new phone. They've given it back to him. He's chucked it in the bin. Now they come back and said, we want that phone back. And he's turned around and went, well, I ain't got it. Like 2 years ago. He's like, well, you need to find it. And he's like, it's gone. It's been destroyed. And they're like, well, that's going to go in the evidence against you. And I'm like, but give it to you for 2 months. If you haven't found what you need to find in 2 months, like you can't go back to the guy 2 years later and go, like back here, unless they told him
to keep the phone.
But then if they told him to do that, I just said, well, you keep it. You know what I mean? Like, you've had it for 2 months.
But are there any like ITKs or anything that's suggesting there's something more to it? Like he could be in trouble.
He could be in trouble. He could be in trouble. He could be banned for life. I think it would be an absolute travesty to football, not just because it's West Ham, but I think to football, if a guy got banned for something like that, for not adding in a mobile phone, and you've had people like Sepp Blatter running FIFA. And
100%.
and you've got referees refereeing in World Cups that have been blatant done for and refereeing Bayern Munich Dortmund games that have been done for blatant corruption, blatant cheating. I think to lose talent like that in the game, he ain't going to play for us for long. You know what I mean? So listen, if he gets banned for life, it's no skin off my nose.
But is this a Premier League ban or is it a worldwide FIFA ban?
It'll be. I mean, I'm assuming it's world. You know what I mean? But it's a UEFA ban.
But I mean, obviously, maybe I'm looking at this through like Spurs tinted glasses. But I saw when the allegations came out last year, what he was accused of basically getting booked on purpose. I saw like this compilation video of all the bookings he got. A lot of them did look pretty. I mean, when you saw that,
you've got to prove it.
I know, but
with anything, you've got to prove it.
I know he is the kind of player who does like a hard challenge, anyways. It's not like he's not like a player who is out of character to put in a difficult challenge. But I remember watching one video where he puts in one challenge, referee waves play on, then he puts in like another really hard challenge. It looks like he's looking to get booked.
But I think he's got that.
He does have that. You see him for Brazil as well.
Yeah, he's always just like that. There was one, and I think this could be the one that saves him, right? So there was one against Bournemouth where he punches the ball. Yeah, you see it. The ball comes to him, he punches it on the floor, and they books him. And someone's like, "That's a blatant, that's blatantly cheating." This is what that was in the 92nd minute.
Yeah.
Why would you do it in the 92nd minute? You're doing it in the 17th minute. Because there could be anything happen before that. You could be taken off. You could be injured or not. You wouldn't do it in the 92nd minute. You wouldn't wait till the 92nd minute to get a booking. If you're going to go out and get proper, you're going to do it as early as possible. Because, as I say, you could be injured in the first half. You could be taken off. You could be subbed up. You're not going to do it in the 92nd minute. I just think that's the way he is. I'm looking through West Ham tinted glasses. And obviously it benefits us. But as I say, he's not going to be with us long. If he gets off of this, I don't think he'll be here in the summer. He wouldn't have been here for the last 2 summers if
the thing didn't come around. He was about to go to Man City, wasn't
Twice.
he? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if he gets off it again, I mean, I've heard some rumours about Man City, which they may not be doing anything anytime soon. But I think if he gets off of that, I think they come in January because Rodri's injured for the season.
But there were rumours of Paqueta going to Brazil in the summer. Was there anything to that?
It was just because of the ban, because he could. They didn't think he was going to be allowed to play here. So they just turned around and went, "Come back here. You can play here. We'll let you play here."
If it's a UEFA ban, he can't be stopped playing in Brazil.
Also about Kudus, there was something going on about Kudus because obviously at the Brentford game he got taken off at half time. There were rumours that he had a bit of a bust up with Lopetegui. Was there anything to that?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, he came back and scored the next game, didn't he?
Yeah, but I wonder if there was any.
I think Kudus is too happy with the way things are going. I'll be honest, I don't think he is. That's the way I look at it. He's not the same player.
You don't think he's as good this season?
No, he puts in shifts every week, but because of the balance of play at the moment, we're not getting the best. He's being shoved out on the left. He's better on the right, and I think he's sort of like venting his frustrations to the new manager. I like that. You know what I mean? Because it shows you want to play.
Teething problems, though, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
You get him in the right
the balance.
position.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So,
what are you making out of
the right position? Because if Bowen's on the right, though, how are you going to fit him in?
This is the problem. It's a good problem to have. I said at the beginning
he can play central, but then Paqueta's playing central.
But I said at the beginning of the season, if you got to play him over Bowen, so be it. That's you've got to.
You think he's better than Bowen?
It depends. Bowen's brilliant.
Yeah.
Bowen is brilliant, but at times Paqueta's a more effective player. If you're going for goals and Bowen goes central, we can score goals.
What about a number 9? Have you tried him there yet? West Ham tried him.
Can't Kudus play in the 10?
I think he can, but Paqueta plays there.
Because when I saw your summer business, I always envisaged Somerville left, Bowen right, probably Paqueta dropping into the 8, Kudus 10 and then
Yeah.
Well, that's what I envisaged, but he hasn't quite done that.
No. He likes that. I think he likes that base. I think while we're still getting, he likes that Alvarez Rodriguez base. I'm not convinced on Rodriguez, if I'm honest with you. I think he's too slow. I think he's still got to build into the Premier League, a bit like Alvarez when he first came in. But we've also got Souček, who he loves to play because he scores goals and he's brilliant in the box when we're defending, So yeah, it's a good problem to have, But at the end of the day, I think you go back to sort of like the Svenga and Eriksson problem, square pegs round holes. What's the point? Play your best players. That's why teams like Spain and that are so successful, because they have to leave players out like David Villa or Fernando Torres. They don't turn around and go, well, we've got David Villa and Fernando Torres and Xavi and Iniesta and all of it. Let's play Torres on the left.
Just look at England the other night.
Yeah, that was awful. The Greece game was awful. You know what I mean? Like Carsley. I mean, I know we've got a new manager now, but people are saying like he beat Finland, and they're saying give Carsley the job. Like, did you watch the Greece game? Anyone with half an attack, we was getting skinned by.
No, I think they got the right man now in Tuchel. I think he's going to do a good job, but we'll leave that conversation for another day. But I want to know your opinion on Spurs, because you've seen Ange Postecoglou for a year now, haven't started this. I think when you're looking at the general play, I think we've actually been pretty good this season, but haven't got consistent results. Do you think Spurs are going in the right direction?
Do you know what? I'm having this discussion with Abby tomorrow on a Millie, but I'll leave that for my channel. I'm having this discussion with Abby tomorrow. Who's further along in terms of the progress? Because you've come from this and we've come from this, and we've sort of plateaued. And I think you're still here, and I think we're still here. But I think you've got to get this right with Ange. You've got to get this right. And I love Ange's style of play, and I know it was so positive. It's horrible when you go from such tepid football, like Conte's, like football, sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not. When it's successful, you deal with it. This is the same as Moyes. When it's successful and you're getting results, you think, right, okay. When it starts to go wrong and you're watching that tepid football and getting beat, you think, no, this is not football anymore. So I know it's such an exciting thing. I think that the problem with Ange, and this is just my opinion, and obviously I'm not a Spurs fan. I don't watch Spurs every. I can't turn around and say I've watched every minute of every game. But the problem with Ange, I think he's got the same sort of problem as Bielsa had. He's got that one style of football, and he's going at it 100 mile an hour. It's so exciting, but there's times when the Premier League is such a fast-moving league, And to be honest with you, I think people like Pep. And this is a discussion. I think they're fucking ruined football, because it's not a fast-paced action game anymore. It's a game of chess. So when you've got a manager, it's refreshing to see. But these managers like Pep and that, they work that out and they go, right, well, this is how we're going to deal with that, and this is how we're going to play football, and this is how we're going to beat them 1-0 or 2-0. And you've got to get to the point where Ange can turn around and go, right, well, if they do that, we're going to do this. And I think that's where he's going wrong.
You say that,
in my
but
opinion.
I think for the most part, like Jurgen Klopp, a manager who actually took a league off Pep Guardiola, also had just one way of playing, didn't he? For the most part, anyway.
I think his team was so fluid, though.
Yeah,
and
it's about getting the right team.
It's about getting the right, but and I think if Ange does that, but are they going to give him enough time to do that?
They have to.
Klopp had 9 years.
Yeah,
and you look at in them 9 years, he had Mane, he had Salah, he had Firmino, maybe one other floating about. But for the base of that 9 years, that was his team. He never changed it. They knew what they was doing. You watch Liverpool under Klopp; it was so fluid. They'd fucking rotate like cogs. The midfielder would go here, and then that means Sane would go here. They was like, it was really difficult to defend against, because they was constantly rotating, and everybody knew their jobs. But it gets to a point. Like, I remember when Klopp first come to West Ham, we beat them in the cup.
Mm-hmm.
The team was awful. It was fucking terrible. You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking to, and it just come off the Borussia Dortmund job, where we hadn't done that well. He nearly got relegated with Borussia Dortmund. And I was thinking, who's this geezer like? You know what I mean? We was linked to him at one point. I said, we'll have him. What a fucking fool I am, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, but when he come to that, before he built that base, and he got them trusted players, it wasn't great. It wasn't great to watch. But once he got that base in, and that's why they're still going now. That's why people like Salah, because it's such a fluid motion. They knew what they was doing. They knew who was playing, They knew it was either going to be this, or this.
So what do you think Spurs are missing then? If you were looking at the team, well, what are you not convinced about?
I think Kulusevski's fell off a cliff. That's what. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Kulusevski.
You haven't seen him this season.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't watch.
He's been absolutely brilliant. He's
when
got
I
a new
first saw
role
him, but when I saw him, when I've watched him a couple of times, he looks like he's not the same player to me. But as I say, I don't watch him every week, so I can't turn around and go, well, I watch him every minute of every game.
If you're judging on last year's Kulusevski, I would have agreed with you. But this year's Kulusevski is completely different.
Maybe I haven't been paying attention. I've been looking more at Solanke. I love Solanke. I would have wanted Solanke myself. 65 million is very, very steep for him, and you have to bed him in. You know what I mean? Like again, moving from even when you move from Premier League to Premier League, bigger expectation at Spurs and Bournemouth. You know what I mean? Like a lot more pressure, a lot more eyes on you. He hasn't quite hit the ground running.
Well, I think Solanke's been brilliant. I think he's been brilliant. You know what you associate Solanke with, like being a fox in the box, getting a lot of goals, right? It was what he did last season for Bournemouth. But I've been actually surprised how well he's been able to drop deep, link the play together, build up play, his physical strength, his pressing. I think everything apart from his finishing has actually been top notch for us.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, well, that's your opinion. And I said I only go by what I watch. And I when I've seen him, he hasn't. But maybe I'm not watching him in that way. You know, you're keeping your eyes on him. You know what the Kulusevskis of the world can do. You know what the Sons of the world can do. Losing Kane is hard for anyone. I know it's 2 years ago. It's hard. It's hard to replace a player like Harry Kane.
And I think you might be finding that with Rice as well, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're irreplaceable players. They're players that they're world class. They play for top clubs, and when you lose them, they're difficult. You can't find a replacement. We had to replace Rice with 3 players.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's hard, but I think Ange will get there. But I just hope he's given the time. You know what I mean? Like I know there's a couple of people that are starting to sort of like prick their ears up at him and going, well, maybe he's not the geezer. And I think that's harsh to do that so early because it's such an exciting. I thought he was so exciting and he was a breath of fresh air and all the high line, mate, and all that sort of thing. I loved all that. You know what I mean? So it's refreshing because football has become fucking boring with Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp playing these games of chesses with each other. Arteta, yeah, that fucking tosser, I can't stand him either. But
something we can all agree on.
But you know, when you get exciting managers like that, you know, I hope that this tepid, stale, fucking horrible game of boring, you know, fucking everyone's a robot. I hope it gets pushed out by managers like Ange because I want to see that sort of football. I'll go back to the early 2000s and I watched the football from the early 2000s. It was so much exciting. People are going at each other like it's like a street fight. When you look at it now, it's like a game of chess. Like he moves there, right? He moves there. He moves. And it's just
players get touched, go down.
Yeah, that sort of thing. But you look at it in the 2000s, late 90s, 2000s. It was 100 miles an hour. It's a different game, and you had quality players everywhere. Now you're seeing a quality striker like Haaland who can do one thing. You're seeing a winger that can run fast. You're seeing a defender that can head the ball. They can do one job really well. You know what I mean? Whereas back in the 2000s, it was more. I don't know. It just seemed more done. Maybe I'm looking at it with rose.
But do you reckon it's maybe because of the money in the game now and like how much is riding on every game and every competition?
Yeah, like you know, as you say, like the game is. To use an old word, the game's gone. The game is fucking gone. You know what I mean? Like because you got people battling out for points.
Got people vlogging and interviewing outside.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's. But no. I mean, in terms of the money, I think the entertainment business, the vlogging business, best thing that happened to football in the last 20 years because I can't listen to these people, you know, talking nonsense about things that they don't understand on the radio and the TV, only concentrating on the Man Uniteds and the Arsenals and the ones that they go and see week in week out. They want to pay the most money for. They want to promote their brand. I can't stand it. And I think vlogging and things like that is the best thing that's happened because you can get a feel what happens in real life.
That's absolutely right because after we beat Man U 3-0 a couple of weeks ago, all the analysis was all about Man United.
How bad Man United were.
I was like trying to find a channel where I just spoke about Spurs for 10 minutes straight. I couldn't find one.
Well, we used to. I mean, Spurs are in that conversation as well. You get a bit more coverage than say someone like Brentford or Brighton, even even though Brighton have been up there for the last few years. You watch a Brighton versus Brentford match on the telly, you get the game. Them talking about 10 minutes, they can't wait to get back to analysing what happened against Man United and Arsenal over the weekend, or Liverpool and Man City. You get a 10-minute, it's just like we're going to be talking about all of them big teams that happened over the weekend with a game in between. We'll get that over and done with, then we'll go back to... That's all it is.
I feel like they only overanalyse Spurs when we lose.
Yeah, of course. It's always about their, their agenda. They want to push this league. They want to push it. That's their Man United being bad is the worst thing. I remember I read a quote, and I couldn't believe this quote was real, right? And it was Richard Scudamore, who was the Premier League, and he turned around and went, if Man United don't make the top four, it'd be disaster for the Premier League. That is disgraceful for a competition, for the leader of the competition
CEO,
to be saying it will be a disaster for the Premier League. To put your foot... And then you wonder why they used to get fucking Fergie time and things like that, Long live the fucking fall of Man United, that's what I say.
Do you feel like then...
I don't know where we got... Well, I don't know.
I don't know how we got there. We diverged a little bit. Do you think, though, like coming into the game tactically, West Ham will stick with that high line, high fullbacks, or will you look at the way Spurs play, all guns blazing?
2 high lines for life,
yeah,
and
exactly.
we'll be playing in the middle of the pitch. No, do you know what? I think we're going to revert to a bit deeper. I do. I can, because we know what Spurs are going to do. You're going to come at us. I mean, I know what Spurs are going to do, but does
everyone knows what Spurs are going to
do. I think we go a bit deep. I think it's going to be a good game, this one. I think it'd be rip roaring, to be honest with you. On from our end, I think you're going to come at us. I don't think we're going to try and soak it up. I think we're going to come at you as well. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I remember last year.
I don't know.
I remember last year when we were previewing the game. Obviously, you still have Moyes. I don't think you're on great form, and you came in the studio and you were down in the dumps. You were like, "We're going to get beat 3-4-0. It was going to be over." And obviously, you came away with a 2-1 win.
Sim, it should have been 3 or 4-0.
It should have been.
It should have been.
Yeah.
It should have been 5-6-0.
Yeah.
I was watching it. First half, we should have been 6-0 down. Just couldn't finish. You scored 1 goal. And you had about 5 or 6.
And then we gave you 2 goals.
And then a doggy
half.
just plays you through on goal. And
yeah,
we had 2 chances.
Yeah.
2 chances the whole game. It's pissing down the rain. It was a horrible night, to be honest with you.
And so,
I'm out there smiling, but...
And you think on this occasion, obviously there's a different feel around the club, but around the team, but you're more confident of getting a result. Even though you did win last year, you're more confident this time
I think we've got the players now that can go toe-to-toe. I'm not going to say we can go toe-to-toe with a Man City or an Arsenal at the moment. But I think we've got the players there that can hurt a lot of teams if we get it right. But we've also got the players there that can let us down and let teams like Tottenham demolish us. So it depends what one turns up. But if you look at the player for player, I think you edge it in terms of squad. I think, but we're getting there. We are getting there.
Are you looking this season at Tottenham as a team you can finish above? Like, is that like a target?
I'm not going to be fucking sucked into that one. I'm not going to be sucked into that one. I've seen on a fighting cock.
Let me see chess.
I've seen on a fighting cock. They still fucking pull it up now.
That's it. Yeah. That preview. Yeah.
I'm not going to get sucked into that one again.
Nice try.
I think you've got to. I think you've got to, and I don't mean it any disrespect to anyone. Like, I want to finish above Man United. You know what I mean? Because I think that's
and you're well within your rights to.
And I think but we're 7 games. I mean, you can't make any predictions. I think we're going to finish strong. But when you look at Tottenham, we beat them this weekend. We've had an awful start. We could go above you. So if I'm sitting here turning around and going, we've got no chance now, I might as well chuck my season ticket in the bin and go and sit at home. So I think I've got to. Do you know what I want to do? I want to go back to Europe. That's all I want to do. I want to go back to Europe. I think it's going to do us a favour not having Europe this year, in terms of like the transition. But why not?
If I offered you a Conference League spot right now, would you take it?
Take your hand off.
Yeah, take your hand off.
Take your. But a lot of these people, because I see it a lot with teams like Arsenal. They don't like teams like us. Sort of like saying, well, maybe we can beat you this week. They don't like it because they don't. Stan, who are you? Look at Aston Villa. Look at where Aston Villa come from in such a short space of time. They're dreaming. They're playing in the Champions League. They're beating Bayern Munich. They're sitting fucking top of the league again. You know what I mean? Like one change. That's all it takes. One change, one player to come in.
That's it. With so much money in the Premier, every Premier League team is so rich.
They've
and
got
they
the
can
potential
to buy
to go
good
and
players.
make
Look at
that.
Brighton. Look at how stacked their squad are.
Brighton is you know that's the I think that's the dream. You know what I mean? Like if they could keep their players, they'd be winning the Premier League without a doubt. But that's the but you know you get all these people like Arsenal. Oh, just sit down. Who are you? You know what I mean? You've got a dream. Like,
There's no bad team in like
bad
the top
team. No.
11, 12 in the Premier League.
No.
They're all really good
but
teams.
even when you go to we went and beat Arsenal last year 2-0 at the Emirates, and they was on top form. We was in poor form. Then they come to us when we was a bit better, and they beat 6-0. It's like that again. You know what I mean? So. You know, I don't like to turn around and say, no, we ain't got no chance. I think everyone's got a chance. And I think that's what you should be aiming for. If you didn't want to finish above everyone, don't go to the football. Just chuck your ticket in the bin and sit on the floor.
Do you reckon Tottenham can win a trophy this season?
I don't think this season.
Europa League?
Could, yeah, actually, yes. Yeah, I forgot you was in Europa. Yes, yeah. They could win the Europa League. Will they? I don't know.
Score prediction, Nicky?
I'm going to back us to win, you know.
Win?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1.
I like that because you backed us to bat you last season.
Yeah.
And you won. So hopefully it's reverse role reversal. This is what you go for.
We don't have a great record against them at our place, do we?
We have a terrible record in London derbies, and that's what gets me really like kind of apprehensive coming into this game. Arsenal, Chelsea, and Andrew's got to be doing better in these games. He's got to
I'm
be
just saying,
doing
since
a
we
lot
moved to
better.
the new stadium, how many times have they beaten us?
Was it 3? Is it
They
2
beat
or
us
3?
last year. They beat us the first time as well. Is that it?
How many years you been there?
Been there since 2020.
So it's 4.
No, 2019. Sorry, 2019.
Yeah, because
Beat us
I went
2
to
or
the
3
first one. It
times.
was pre-COVID.
They beat us in the cup at our place as well.
Did
Was
they
that
beat
one?
us?
It's pretty even now. There was one
It's
point
not
where
good enough. That's what it is.
there was one point where you beat us. I think you'd beat us so many times at the London Stadium,
Yeah.
and I think you'd ended up winning more times there than we did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So these games are up in the air. I never like to predict these games. These are tough games because I've been there before when we've been absolutely awful and we've beat you, and then I've been there before when we've been absolutely flying and got absolutely demolished. I remember going there in 15, 16, we was on fire and you beat us 4-1. Then I've been there when we've been 2-0 up and lost 3-2.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So
Stalteri.
yeah, but then I've watched the telly when we was 3-0 down, and we come back and drew 3-all. So I don't like to
Bring that
predict
one
these
up.
You had to
games.
bring that one up right in this studio with the Lanzini moment. Literally every West Ham fan I go past, I walk past, they go, "Oh, Lanzini."
Yeah, I was in a
Lanzini."
pub the other day and they go, "Oh, Lanzini."
I used to do you know what? I've met him a couple of times as well, and do you know what? Every Spurs fan I meet is always fucking content creators. Fantastic. I love expression. I think so, you've got some of the best content creators. I think so. In because expressions, I love him to death. I love him to bits. I love Abby Summers to bits. But Ben Spurs.
Ben
Was it Ben Spurs? Is his name?
Who's Ben Spurs?
Ben Borman.
Ben Borman, yeah.
Borman.
And he was, and he used to film himself singing. I fucking loved him to death. And I met him in Ball Street.
He's great,
And I'll
yeah.
never forget when we drew that game, and I was watching a bit of his content, and he cracks open this cider. And he goes, "Fucking
Dark fruit
Lanzini,
Strongbow.
yeah. Fucking Lanzini." That's the fucking iconic moments. And I think you boys have had some iconic moments on the internet.
we're-
We've
Definitely
had,
iconic
if you're a
in
West
the
Ham
West Ham
fan, we've had many iconic moments
No.
going into it. Even
well, I
the
haven't
one
one
when you said
myself.
you were going to jib us in the face.
I'm not going to jib anyone.
If I'm predicting the game, I am going to predict Spurs to win. The reason why is because when I've seen West Ham this season against the bigger teams, I think you just give up too much territory. I think you allow them too much time on the ball.
Yes.
When
I
I
think
saw
they'll do
them,
that with Spurs.
I think they will, and I think they're going to come away from home. I think Lopetegui's the kind of manager where he'll in this kind of game. I think he's going to sit back and he's going to give us like when I saw them. You've played City this season. You played Chelsea. I can't remember what other big teams you played, but I've seen you play these
Villa.
bigger teams, Villa. Especially that first half against Villa, you just sit back too much
yeah,
and you
yeah.
allow them too much time on the ball. And I think if you do that to us, you'll be in trouble. So I am going to go.
But we
for a
did
Spurs
do that
win.
last year, and you never.
True,
It
but
was just
we're-
about putting the ball in the back of the
remember
net.
Yeah,
last
We had
year,
the chances.
Last
Yeah.
year we had a lot of injuries. We had a lot of bad players out.
Yeah, but we had the chances to win the game.
And also
more
we
than
have
enough
we have the
chances.
chances, but we're a better team. I feel like this year. So I feel like also we got more offensive players. We're going to have Decky next to Maddison this year. I think Maddison was out last year in that game. I think we're playing Emerson and Davis centre back
Also,
that game.
we got options off the bench this time as well. Sonny's back as well.
Sonny's back.
Richarlison and Solanke, we can swap them. So
So I think
we've got a lot of options.
if you do the same this year as you did last year, and you give us that, or give us the impetus, you don't try and stop us playing.
Yeah.
Then I think you could be in trouble. So I'm gonna go. I've predicted 4-1 Spurs.
4-1 Spurs.
4-1, yeah.
Bloody.
This is another one of them moments, isn't it? Ben, slap him around the face. He's telling him to
4-1
stop.
Spurs.
I predicted West Ham to win. What are you chatting about?
Absolutely. No, you listen. Opinions are like arseholes.
I can't see us winning 4-1, but I'm going to go. I just can't predict anything but a Spurs win, and we have to win this game with our record in London derbies. So
What happens if you lose?
what happens if we lose? Then
We're above you. Then we've had a
You're
bad
above us.
start.
It depends on the manner of the defeat. Because
What happens if we go and win 4-1? Let's chuck the cat amongst
you-
the
no,
pigeons.
you're
here.
not winning 4-1.
If you win 4-1, there's obviously serious questions have to be asked. But
But on the back of that
don't
second
think that'll
half
happen.
against Brighton, we have to come out firing out the traps. We have to have a big performance here. We have to respond. There's no question about it. If we don't, then there's going to be massive questions on Ange. Massive.
Yeah. Does he go at some? If that happens, does he go?
I don't.
he
I
doesn't
want
go.
Or do the questions start being asked? You know,
No.
questions start being asked.
Serious
I want to
questions.
see. I want to see us persist with him, even if we have a bad season this year.
Yeah,
I just
no,
want
I
to see
think
us
you're
see
right.
through a project.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right to do that. As I said, I want to see people like Ange in the Premier League because they're exciting, and that's what I want football to be again, exciting.
But I'm going to go 2-1 to Spurs. I think it's going to be a really tight game, but I think Spurs. I think we just have that bit more quality, and I think we're going to edge it on the day. But that is Nicky. We're going to go into a combined 11 now. Combined 11, Spurs v West Ham. I don't think we've ever done any of one of these together.
No, do you know what? I think this
well, the
is
squad's
close
never,
one, though.
the squad's never been this close in quality. You could
yeah.
probably argue.
So we're going to go 4-3-3. In goal is going to be Vicario against Areola.
I'm going to go for Vicario this one. Areola's been pretty poor this year. I'm
Yeah?
going to be honest. I haven't been impressed. I love Areola, but this year I'm not. I'm quite impressed with Vicario as well. I think Vicario's a good goalkeeper. So I'm going to go Vicario.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue that.
No.
I'm not going to argue that. That was a nice, easy win.
Albeit Vicario's had his troubles, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw what he did in international break. He let in one straight from a corner, which wasn't great.
Pete Schmeichel used to let some terrible goals. He was one of the best goalkeepers that's ever played the game. So like, it's a tough life being a goalkeeper. It is a tough life.
I think Vicario is one of the best shot stoppers in the league, but he is a bit suspect when it
on
comes to crosses. Yeah.
like Dracula. Yeah, like crosses.
Right back. So you got Emerson.
Wan-Bissaka.
Oh, Wan-Bissaka now.
I'm going to go Wan-Bissaka.
Over
Wan-Bissaka
Porro.
against Pedro Porro.
Oh. Yeah, I'm going to have to back my boy
Really?
at some
What
point.
the
aren't I?
fuck?
It can't be Wan-Bissaka over
Wan-Bissaka.
Pedro Porro. Come on.
Pedro Porro's just got so much quality on the ball.
He's very good, but one-on-one, Wan-Bissaka's one of the best
Yeah,
defenders I've
that's
ever
also
seen.
true.
I think-
One-on-one.
Yeah, he is a better one-on-one defender than Porro. I grant you that. But
So what we doing? We're
when you look
attacking
at
and
the whole
defending with
package,
defenders.
If you look at the whole package, Pedro Porro is one of the best attacking fullbacks in the league, in my opinion. The quality that he has in his crossing, in his shooting, in his passing, it's just you just need that in your team, in my opinion. And
We're
his
defending.
defending.
We're defending. We're not attacking.
Well,
We
depends who
attack
your
with
manager
11
is.
players. Ange
Depends who your manager is.
Oh,
I'm going to go Wan-Bissaka.
are we playing Ange ball or Lopetegui? That's the question.
That's the question. Yeah, that is the question.
But I think Porro has been getting better and better and better at his defensive duties.
And
as well.
also, Porro's not that bad, yeah, as you say, defensively. And if you marry that up with how good he is going forward, like I see Wan-Bissaka going forward. He's actually not a bad dribbler, but his quality, like passing wise, I think
he's
leaves a
not.
lot to be desired.
No, he's not as consistent as definitely as Porro, but defending. Honestly, when you get in one-on-one with anyone, no one's going past him.
Are you judging that from what you saw at United or what you've seen
No,
so
I've
far
seen
at
West Ham, yeah. West Ham, yeah. I didn't really watch him at United. I don't remember him really playing at United, if I'm honest with you. Every time I was watching it, he never played. But what I've seen now, trying to get past him, is but I'm going to say this is a negative against him. Sometimes he gets it caught way up the pitch because of what Lopetegui wants him to do, I think. And so he's not there to defend. But I'm going to go defending.
It's like if you're making the argument against Trent, like Trent against Wan-Bissaka, you're not going to put Wan-Bissaka over Trent, are you? But Trent's not that great defensively.
No, I guess not. I guess you're right. But I'm not a big fan of Trent. I'm not a big fan of
You're
Trent.
still taking him over Wan-Bissaka.
I think Trent Alexander-Arnold is a fantastic footballer. I don't think he's a world-class footballer. He's not. Where does he play? He's not a world-class midfielder. He's not a world-class right-back. But they're telling me he's a world-class
player.
footballer.
I think
Well,
he
where
is.
the fuck
And
does
I
he
think
play?
like Porro's got obviously not as good as Trent, but he's got those kind of abilities, those passes from deep. Like I think in build up he's sensational. When he gets in the final third, he can make a difference. I think those qualities, for me, are more valuable in our team anyway than what Wan-Bissaka offers. That's all I.
All right, let's go Porro then. Well, I'll give you Porro.
We'll go Porro. Left back, Destiny Udogie against
Emerson
Palmieri.
One of our most important players. So
Yeah?
back Emerson.
Really? One of your most important players?
Honestly, he came in 2 years ago, I think it was. Yeah, he played in the conference final win. He was awful at the start. Really bad. I thought, well, I think it cost us 12 million quid or something. I thought, well,
it was Chelsea, wasn't it?
Waste of 12 million quid. Couldn't get in the team over Cresswell. Since the conference final win, he's been unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. Every time he's played, every time I've seen him play, he's got this sort of telepathic link with Paquetá. Now Paquetá don't play on the left. I think he struggles to find the consistency with the left winger.
Brazilian connection.
It's the Brazilian connection, yeah. But
I thought it was Italian, Emerson.
he is Italian, but he is Brazilian.
Brazilian.
Yeah, he's from Brazil, yeah, but he plays for Italy. But absolutely phenomenal footballer, honestly. One of our most important
Would you say he's one of the most underrated players then?
Yeah.
I don't really hear people talking about him.
Yeah, I do. I backed him for my Hammer of the Year last year, and I think the year before.
Wow. I really never rated Emerson. Maybe
Brilliant.
I just haven't been watching him closely
he's
enough.
excellent. He's really, really good.
And yeah, I'm surprised by that. I really am. I mean, I don't really have the argument. I just think Destiny is brilliant. He's a young player. I think he's hit the ground running at Spurs. Defensively, he's really strong.
I like it. I do like it.
He's built like an ox, isn't he? At 21 years of age.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays well beyond his years. And he complements our left-hand side really well. He can just drive up that pitch and just go through everyone like a bulldozer. No one can really get the ball off him. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and go Emerson's over a doggy, so I don't know what you say.
I mean, obviously, I do think Udogie, but I am very surprised when Nicky's saying in terms of Emerson that maybe we underrate him. And to be fair, Udogie, I think he's been pretty good this season, but he's had injury problems. Last season started well, but the last quarter of the season was down with injury and didn't play out well. So maybe we should give it to Emerson if he's saying he's the West Ham's player of the year 2 years in a row in his opinion. But obviously from what I've seen from both players, I think Udogie's a better player, but maybe I'm underrating Emerson because I never saw him as being that great. But
21, I think Emerson's 30. I think it's going to be no comparison a year or two's time. But I think at the moment, for the consistent, Udogie's just
fair enough.
So I'm going to go Emerson.
We'll go Emerson.
We'll allow Emerson then.
Centre backs. I mean, I'm going to put forward both of our centre backs, Romero and Van der Ven.
Yeah, they're very good.
Who are you going to put forward?
Kilman. I'm going to put forward. I'm not putting forward Mavropanos because I wouldn't put Mavropanos in a fucking.
And Todibo as well, but you haven't seen him.
But I haven't seen him enough. But I wouldn't. As I said, I've got to go Kilman and Mavropanos because that's been our. I've got to put forward Kilman. I won't put Mavropanos forward in a fucking Rotherham. So
Kilman's on the left side, isn't he?
Yeah.
So Romero definitely gets in there then at right centre back.
That run from Kilman, I think, I don't know, you played Palace away.
Yeah.
Did he get set up a goal?
Yeah.
Was it?
It's excellent.
That was Van der Ven-esque. I don't know if you saw it.
Do you know what?
Van der Ven-esque.
Do you know what I never knew about him? He used to play something like indoor football.
Futsal, yeah.
Yeah, futsal, yeah. For international, for England, yeah.
Yeah, so you got that run that Kilman did, but I mean Emerson. I mean
Van der Ven's twice,
exactly against Everton. Did you see his assist against Manchester United?
He's good. I like Van der Ven, and he's quick as well.
And Spurs were linked with Kilman a couple summers in a row now, and I just was never convinced totally.
I think we paid a lot of money for him.
I thought
too much money. Probably.
In Conte's back three, he would have been brilliant.
Conte, yeah.
But I think in our system, back four, I actually think he's deceptively quick. But he's still not. I mean, he's no Van der Ven. I mean, Van der Ven is quick.
Yeah, he's quick.
He's the fastest player in the Premier League. First of all, he was our player of the season last year.
Who, Van der Ven?
Yeah,
fastest player in the Premier League.
In the Premier League
for 2 years in a row now.
Wow,
he's clocked the fastest speed.
And also, we do these ratings every month. We take our player ratings and add them together. And Van der Ven is our best player every single month. Every single month, no questions asked.
I'll give you Van der Ven.
So Van der Ven and Romero. So that's the back four of Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Emerson, and Vicario in goal.
Right.
I think I can see
not
this
going too well.
CDM. We're going to go Bentancur or Basuma?
We probably, I guess, Bentancur at the moment. He's one playing. So Bentancur.
Who's against Alvarez?
Alvarez, who's good.
I think I'd probably put Alvarez in, you know.
Yeah.
You reckon Alvarez gets in our team?
I think so, he does.
I like Alvarez. I don't think he's better than Bentancur.
It's good for a booking, though.
He's definitely good for a booking. I think Bentancur is a better player.
I think a better footballer,
Who's
but
a
I
better
think he
six?
could be. He's a good destroyer.
Alvarez is a monster.
Yeah, he's a bit of a
monster. Yeah, we don't see him sometimes.
You could argue Alvarez is a better 6. I can't see Alvarez being a better player than Bentancur.
Maybe not on the ball, but I feel like
no.
if Alvarez was in our team, he could help like enable Kulusevski and Maddison even more.
You need them players. You need them destroyers to let the other players play. You know, and that's what he does. He allows Paqueta to play. So I'm going to go Alvarez. I'm going to chuck Alvarez in there.
All right, Alvarez then.
Well, someone in the comments says Alvarez is pony.
Oh, well, fair enough.
I think he is a bit suspect on the ball, to be honest. But I think he does give away a lot of fouls. But maybe we need that. You know what I mean?
We do need a bit of bite in midfield, I think.
But I think Bentancur can bring it. Anyway, it's not a debate about that. I guess the the thing is, we kind of play 2 10s. You play who's next to Alvarez?
We have Rodriguez or Souček.
So we play Maddison and Kulusevski. So we play
you play the 2 10s,
yeah.
All right, so let's go to the 10s then. Let's go. So we go.
I guess Souček can play 10 sometimes. I guess ish.
I see him
Like
play
Fellaini,
10
like
every week.
in the Fellaini role.
I think I'd have been better as 10.
Role.
Nah, no way.
No?
He's not.
Fellaini?
Do you know what? He's Marmite, Souček. He's Marmite. Some people absolutely love him, and he does get the
That's
most.
the thing. You watch him, he plays awful. Like, how is this guy playing? And then he just pops up with a header and he
like,
scores a goal.
Sometimes you watch him play like Mr. Soft trying to play football. He can't pass the ball.
What, 3 goals
He's
this
just
season?
fucking all gangly. You know, like one of them fucking things that do that, outside the car
wind
things.
things, yeah.
And he's like that. He plays like that, and he can't pass it. That's about as much power as he gets in the ball when he's trying to pass it. But then he'll come up with. I remember Everton last year. We was 2-1 down. We're drawing 2-2, and he comes up with this absolutely fucking scorcher. Like outside of the boot, from outside of the box, top corner, we win 3-2. It comes up with goals like that, you know what I mean? And then you can't hate the geezer, you know what I mean? But you know, sometimes he's not great. He's definitely not great in the 10. Like I watched him play the 10 the other week. He got lugged off at half time. So no, I'm not going to put him forward for the 10, but I'm going to put Paqueta forward for the 10.
I think to make a midfield 2, Paqueta and Kulusevski.
Well, not even Maddison.
I'll put Kulusevski over Maddison.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm saying he's the worst player I've seen this year. All right.
Well,
yeah,
I think
fair.
Decky's been better than Maddison this season, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
And then Paqueta just has that extra bit of bite. Would I rather Paqueta than Maddison? I think at their best, I still think I'd rather Maddison, but Paqueta stays fit and he's a bit more consistent and he's got a lot of quality anyway.
Do you know what? He's got to get his... Do you know what? Footballing-wise, is absolute dream to watch. He's a Brazil's
Madison.
number 2.
Paqueta.
I don't think his mind's there in a minute because of this. Just because of this, what's hanging over his head. It could be the last of his career.
Well, you don't think this season he's been that good?
He's been good. It's just having lapses of concentration. You know, he's not been as good. I mean, last season, before all this, he was phenomenal.
I remember last season, every time he didn't play, you lost.
We lost, yeah.
And you just couldn't play.
He's phenomenal. He hasn't quite hit them heights, but he's still good. You know, but like when his head's on it, I think if he gets off with this, yeah, and he goes to like, and I hate to say this because I'm a West Ham fan, and I hate to say this about players, but I've got to tell the truth. I said it about Rice, and I said it about him. If he goes to a City or an Arsenal or something like that, he will absolutely flourish. Mm-hmm. Like, and I said that about Rice when he was with us. He's gone to Arsenal. Yeah. I think he's been unbelievable. He will be the same. He will absolutely tear it after the park because footballing wise, I don't think there's players on his level with us. I'll be honest with you, like he's levels above. And I think he'll flourish. So Paqueta will go in every day of the week for me.
So Paqueta, Kulusevski, and I kind of regret giving Alvarez now.
You can't have them all. You've had the defence.
I know what's coming on the right hand side. You're going to put Kudus or Bowen?
Bowen
on the
Bowen
right.
against Brennan. So
Brennan's had a phenomenal season.
Yeah, 7 in 7
phenomenal
at the moment. I mean, I don't know if I can say he's better than Bowen, but he's definitely been in great form.
If we go in this season, I think he's got to go in. He's got 6 in 6, didn't he?
7 in 7
7
now
in 7
in the Wales game.
Yeah.
Bowen got a goal in the last game, didn't he, against Ipswich?
Yeah.
I love this. He's arguing for Brennan. You're arguing for Bowen.
Yeah. But I think if you've got to go now, I think you've got to give it to Brennan Johnson. I picked Brennan Johnson in my dream team for 7 weeks on the spin.
Do you know what I mean? So he's got a soft spot for Brennan.
All right, Brennan Johnson gets
phenomenal. He's been phenomenal. He's been absolutely phenomenal. So
I'm surprised though because that Bowen's been so consistent for how many years now.
Bowen's brilliant. I love Bowen to death. But if you're going now, You've got to go Brennan Johnson.
There's probably some angry West Ham
There's
fans
probably,
shouting at
yeah,
the screen at you
of course
now.
there is, of course. Why am I arguing for Brennan Johnson? I should be arguing for Bowen. But you got to be on it. I think if you don't do these with honesty, I think you know you're going to pick your 11 and I'm going to pick my 11.
That's it, yeah.
So I think Brennan Johnson. I think at this very moment in time, could be different after the weekend, but at this very moment in time, I think Brennan Johnson goes.
All right, Brennan on the right, on the left.
I guess Kudus versus Son.
Kudus versus Son.
I've got to go Kudus, yeah.
What, against Son?
Son.
Yeah.
Heung-min Son.
Heung-min Son.
Son Heung-min.
Of 3-4 years ago, gets in over anyone in the Premier. I am, and I hate to admit this as well, but I've been one of Heung-min Son's biggest fans over the years. I've watched him play football for Tottenham. I think he's a phenomenal player. But not at this moment in time. He don't get another Kudus.
Well, he
better.
has been injured and he's been complaining about fatigue and getting overplayed. But I still think if you look at his numbers, 4 goal contribution in 5 games this season, you know, you can't really complain with that.
Kudus is that's similar though.
Is he?
Yeah,
I don't know.
So yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
Last season as well. What was his numbers last season?
17
Monstrous
goals,
numbers.
10 assists.
Kudus got 18.
Did he?
Yeah.
In all competitions. All competitions. Well, we weren't in all competitions. we were only in.
But you got to think
was just
about
Premier League
how
for Son.
poor we were. We were poor. We were. I don't know how we languished in 6th for so long and 7th and things like that. We were terrible last year. It's just come to the league. I think you look at the way he dribbles. I think he's
dribbling. I think he's probably one of the best.
He's the
in
best.
League.
He's the best. He comes out top of every stat. I think for the last since he's been here. Dribbling is phenomenal. You can't get the ball off of him. Strong.
No, he's strong, yeah.
And he can score goals. You see the goals that he's got, and I know Son can. I've seen some of Son's goals. You know what I mean, live in person. But I think at this moment in time, at Son's age, I know he's got good numbers. I think I'll go Kudus here.
You know, if you ask me, would I take Kudus at Spurs? I'd say yes. But if you ask me, would I take him in place of Son? I'll definitely say no. If you ask me instead,
but would you have said that
Johnson,
last year?
100%.
I remember people saying last year it's the end of Son. Son's got to go.
Nah, I hate this narrative. I hate this narrative.
But you've heard that, right?
I've heard the narrative, and I've spoken to Spurs fans about this as well. And it's just like every year, Spurs fans and certain fans write off Sonny. Every single year, he comes back and shuts up the doubters. Every single year.
I honestly, he's got to have been there for nearly 10 years, if not over
2015
10 years.
he signed for us.
2015. I remember saying in about 2016, 17, I said he's the most underrated player. I think it was the world's most underrated player. Everyone slept on Son because Kane was doing so well. But that link between them two was absolutely phenomenal. I thought he was phenomenal. But I think at this moment in time, I think Kudus edges it for me. Just for me, because
I just can't.
Can't.
All right, I can't do it. I just can't.
We'll split that one.
I mean,
Sonny has to go in, surely.
What's the chat, Sam?
Someone says slighting Son at your own demise. Someone says he gave us Brennan, you got to give him Kudus.
I'll give him Kudus over Brennan on the right, but not over Son on the left.
All right, let's go Kudus on the right then.
Kudus on the right and Son on the left.
Yeah.
All right, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
We just can't not have Son in this team.
Son.
You can have the striker.
You can.
And
I'm not even going to argue the striker.
Solanke, who? Antonio. 3 assists and a goal last weekend.
Yeah, but
Why is he still there?
Because nobody else. We can't sign anyone else as worth a toss, to be honest with you.
Fulkrug can't stay fit.
Fulkrug's injured. Long term.
Yeah, I'm reading some quotes from Lopetegui today, so he can't give a return date.
Can't give a return date. No, I think he's got something wrong with his
What was
skin.
he like when he did play though? Like when he first signed?
No, he's not really played.
Oh, he's not.
He went away on international duty, last international break, and come back injured, and we haven't seen him since. If we'd have signed John Duran,
He was doing all that on the Instagram as well.
it's got to be the biggest mess ever. Not signing John Duran when you spent 25 million.
What actually happened? Like, do you know?
There's so many. The thing
so many
is,
stories
at the moment, because of his form, because of Fulkrug's injury, because of our problems on the pitch, it's been a debate about what happened. So everyone's sort of pointing the fingers at each other. He's saying he didn't give him the money. He's saying that Aston Villa were fucking about and they didn't want to.
It was like £2 or £3 million extra.
It was saying, but they're all pointing fingers. You're not going to get to the bottom of it. They're all blaming each other. You know what I mean? If John Duran would have started the season with Aston Villa and hadn't scored a fucking goal, they'd have all been claiming it. I know we shouldn't have paid, but because he's got off to a flyer. He's fun. I love John Duran. I thought he was going to be brilliant for us. You know what I mean? But they're all pointing fingers at each other. But I think that could be one of the biggest misses in. You're not going to be able to sign him now. I think he signed a new 5-year deal or something.
Yeah, he did, and he's going to.
And he's going to be about 80 million now.
Yeah, probably with the start of the season he's had.
20. He is 20 years old.
Some of the goals he scored as well.
The one the other week. Did you see the one the other week?
He's got a dynamite left foot. Absolute dynamite.
One Champions League 1-0 winner against Bayern Munich. It's like, wow. But anyway, so that's Big Dom Solanke up top. So let's run through this team again. So it's Vicario in goal.
Tottenham MV.
Porro right back. Emerson left back. Romero van der Ven centre back positions. Alvarez CDM alongside Kulusevski and Paquetá. You've got Sonny on the left, Kudus on the right, and Solanke up top.
So 4 West Ham. Is that 4 West Ham players?
4 West Ham players.
Not bad. He's not happy with that. He wants more.
Well, I'll give it to you, but we'll do it again later on in the season. I'm sure we'll be able to balance it out.
Well, there you have it, Nicky. Pleasure to have you on, mate, as always.
Nice one. Well, we got a game to play.
Oh, sure.
Oh, shit.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Let's all do it. So we're going to do a...
Not too fast, people. Not too fast.
We're going to do a heads up.
Me against Nicky.
You against Nicky. How it works is heads up is basically I'm going to give you like a topic of player, and you're going to go 1-1-1, and you get 5 seconds each to come up with a player.
My brain does not work this fast, Simon.
No, it doesn't work.
I'm going to tell you now.
Neither does mine, so we'll probably be on the same boat.
All right. The topic is players who have played for both Tottenham and West Ham.
Oh. Okay.
So
I can't even think of one.
Can't think of one.
You
can think of a few, surely. No?
I'm trying to think of their names. Who's the left back that used to play for us? Don't tell me because it'll ruin the game.
So we're gonna go one. How it works is you get 5 seconds each to come up with a player. If you can't think of one in 5 seconds, the point goes to the other player, and his first to 3 wins.
Okay.
All right. So Nicky's our guest. I'll let him start.
Michael Carrick.
Michael Carrick, got.
Jermaine Defoe.
Frederick Canute.
Jimmy Greaves. Did he play for West Ham?
Yes. Fuck, now the left back. I'm done. I'm done already. I cannot think.
All right, so 1-0 to Ben, but 1 second.
Who we got? Who could we have had? There's got to be a million.
There's a lot. There's a lot of players who.
Dimitrescu.
Yeah. Go on.
Did Ryan Fredericks?
Yeah.
You're right, yeah. Paul Konchesky.
Yep.
I was thinking about him. Teddy Sheringham.
Yes.
What's the Russian? Who's the Russian guy, though? The Ukrainian. Rebrov. Sergei Rebrov.
Yes.
Les Ferdinand.
Yes.
Callum Davenport.
Oh.
Yes.
Shit, I'm out. Canute.
2. I think
he said it.
All right, 1-1.
That was good, but thank you for giving me that name because I would have been out after 3 in a shit game. But
all right, so it's first to 3. So there are quite a few players you still haven't got.
I can't think of any more. I'm trying to think.
It's on Ben to start.
Let me just. I need to think about another player. God. We've named about 15 players just there, didn't we?
There's a few you haven't mentioned yet.
I can't think of any.
I can't. Do you know what? I can't think of any.
You can't
either.
think of.
No, I can't think of any either. This is going to be a rubbish round.
All right.
Matthew Everington?
Yes. There's one.
Now I've got to pull something out of the bag. I'm done. I'm cooked. I'm going to be honest.
All right, 2-1 to Ben.
Yeah, fair.
All right, 2-1 to Ben.
Come on!
He's called out Matthew Everett.
I told you it's going to be 2-1. I told you 2-1 this weekend, 2-1 here. That's what I'm talking about.
Who did we miss? I bet there's some obvious ones.
Players you've missed. Tarico, I think that's
Tarico's the one I was thinking about.
Robbie Keane.
Robbie Keane.
Bobby Zamora.
Mido.
Joe Hart.
Scott Parker.
Scott Parker.
Of course.
Yeah, Neil Ruddock. Plays a Ruddock. So yeah, I think
David Bentley.
David Bentley,
yeah.
Both. So yeah, a few you missed. You did
big ones as well.
Pretty good effort, though.
Well.
Pretty good effort for what you did.
No, that was all right. Yeah, especially when you pull in people like Callum Davenport out of the bag. That's, you know what I mean? I was quite impressed with that.
That was good effort.
No, yeah, it was good. Good game.
All right, fine. We'll just
end it there.
Yeah.
All right, Nicky. Thank you
No, thank
so
you,
much,
Thank you
mate.
so much.
We'll see you
Nice
next
one,
time. Hopefully you don't have that smile on your face on Saturday afternoon, but we'll see you guys very soon. Big up to everyone in the chat today. Everyone was saying Clive Allen, Paul Allen, Bobby Zamora.
Bobby Zamora.
But anyway, we'll see you all very soon, guys. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.